Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a hot minute, but I moved. So I finally have my own craft room and I'm still getting it put together, and I will have a craft room tour video that I've been working on coming up. So I'm super excited for that, but I had to get a craft done. So here we go. I got this jar from the Dollar Tree. All the crafts supplies came from the Dollar Tree, or the items I'm making over came from the Dollar Tree. So this glass jar with just a basic metal lid. I'm using the Folk Art matte finish in Mossy Meadow, and I'm painting the lid here, as you can see. And I am going to, spoiler alert, let you know that lid ended up being the bane of my existence. And you'll see here as I troubleshoot the issues I ran into with it. So my plan is to put these IOD transfers onto the jar on the lid, that larger single flower, and then this on the side of the jar itself. So first, after I painted the lid, I am now going to put this, I think they're just daisies, just classic daisies. I'm sure someone will let me know if they're not, but you don't have to use IOD specific transfers. You can get all kinds of rub-on transfers, just about at any craft store, and of course online, they have them. But I like the quality of IOD is really, it's worth the money. They are expensive, but they are worth their money. They're very they don't look like a sticker is what I'm trying to say, I guess. They just look really nice. So I cut some stress cuts because we are putting a flat sticker, if you will, or transfer onto a curved item. And so that just allows me to kind of manipulate the paper without getting too many bunches or wrinkles. I don't want this to be perfect. It's rather imperfectly imperfect. So I'm not concerned about it being like pristine on there. And I do get a little rips and cuts in them, but it is what it is. So you can see the leaf, not all of it transferred. And I just left it because I figured it doesn't need to look new. I want this to look like an old jar. So, but you do have to seal your transfers with something. So I am going to use Folk Art's antiquing wax. I know there's so many different kind of waxes to use, from DIYs waxes to fusion. This is just what I first purchased as like a cost-effective wax. It is, compared to like Debbie's Design DIY or fusions, this is waterier. I can talk. More watery, so it's not as thick of a wax, but I like it. It works for what I've used in my crafts, and I have yet to have a complaint about it. So I'll use it till it's done, and then I'll maybe try something else. So here is where we are going to hit a pretty big snag. I'm rubbing this transfer on. My paint was totally dry, but my acrylic paint didn't want to stick to the metal lid. So as I'm trying to rub this transfer onto the paint, I'm running into the issue of it's just peeling the paint off and not releasing the transfer. So I'm like, okay, how do I combat this? Because I don't want to just throw this transfer out, right? They're expensive. I'm going to save it no matter what. Again, this doesn't need to be looking perfect. So for whatever reason, in my frustration, I thought, if I cut the edges off of this, that'll make it release. Which I don't know why I even had that thought, because it's not like cutting more off the edges that don't have the image is going to all of a sudden make it release. But hey, here we are. Crafting sometimes doesn't go the way you plan, and you gotta just switch lanes, alter course, and try something else. So I put a little bit of Mod Podge down, because then I thought, okay, it won't release because the acrylic paint stuck to the back of it. So I use the Mod Podge as something for the paint to grip onto. so that I can rub the transfer on and have the paint and the transfer stick and have my grid paper release, right? This kind of worked. And when I say kind of, like, it started to work and then it didn't. And what I ultimately ended up doing was when I got enough of the edge up, pieces that were still coming up, as you can see, I added more Mod Podge. And then I took a painter spatula because I needed something really thin to get between the grid paper you see and the actual transfer itself so that they could release from each other and that I could still have my image. So that ended up working and I got it off and I got it on there. So it's on there. It's Mod Podged back on there. I'm going to put Mod Podge over it to seal it in there. And then I'm going to come back in around the edges where there's missing paint and just reapply more of the same folk art Mossy Meadow paint. I wasn't looking for a perfect lid. We're going to make this lid look old. So it kind of ended up working out, even though it was super frustrating that I ran into this snag. But it also is like a teaching moment and a learning moment. And I'm not one to like cover up mistakes or pretend they didn't happen. I share them with you guys, troubleshoot with you guys, so that if you run into the same issue, you may be able to troubleshoot it from potentially having seen my videos and what I went through. So I hope this was helpful at the very least. Or maybe you just think the whole thing's ridiculous and we can just move on. So I am adding that paint. I'm not being perfect about it either here. We're just gonna bring it up to the edges. And then I do take a little bit of a paper towel and just lightly wipe away what paint got over onto the flower. So I also picked up this 4-pack of glass bottles, test tube lid, whatever you want to call them. They had the same metal top, and I painted them in the same Mossy Meadow. And here I am aging them with the same folk art antiquing wax. So I'm not brushing, I'm just dabbing, and this is to give the ideal look of rust and patina on these lids, like they've been sitting there for a long time in the weathering elements. And yeah, so I don't really even wipe off the wax. I dab it ever so slightly with a paper towel, but I really want this to be that like kind of speckled rust. I would have preferred, but again, I'm going with what I have. And I'm going to do here the same thing to the lid. What would have really probably been maybe a little bit better, but this is obviously my alternative, is Debbie's DIY. She makes a decrepit dust, and it is a powder, and you can sprinkle it onto your wet medium, whatever medium you're using, and it will give this kind of decrepit dust. It looks decrepit, rusted, and it gives a patina to it. But you can get the same effect here. I found. I think, I don't know that all waxes will work this way. I think that because mine is a little bit on the runnier side, that's just naturally how it is, that it kind of was easier to kind of give this freckled effect to it. But I really like how this turned out. I'm adding a little bit of wax right here just because the flower has some white spots, and it was too stark of a difference. Like normally obviously, you want patina, it's not going to be weathered 100%. So but yeah, it's to your liking. You dab it on, you take it off, you dab some more on. If you find it's too dark, you can use a clear wax to kind of lighten the darkness of your wax, or lighten the darkness, the darkening effect that antiquing wax will do. If you feel it's too much, you can always negate it with a clear wax. And make sure it's a clear wax, not a white wax, because then you're going to have a completely different look, unless that's what you're going for. So I did the same thing with the little bottles. And so you can see here when they're dry, they look just rusted, or they have that patina. And this is your reminder that if you like what you're seeing here, please give me a like and a subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. So I have my 4 bottles, and I have these clear they're stickers, but they have they're printed onto clear, transparent, sticky film. So they work really well to use as appliques. I don't want to use my IOD transfers on little jars like this one. Most of my transfers are not small enough. So these work just as great, and they're super adhesive. These stickers are really sticky. So they're not going to peel off. I've yet to have an issue with any of them peeling off, at least I should say. And it sticks to glass. These jars are glass, they're not plastic, so they stick really well to the glass. So I just went through and picked neutral flowers that had kind of long stems on them. And I really, really enjoyed how these turned out. They're very springy, dainty, and they just have the right amount of patina to them. So here they are all together. I really enjoyed making this is the first craft I made in my new craft room. And I'm hoping to crank some more videos out for you guys soon, but I'm also still trying to finish up my craft room and get that craft room tour ready for you guys. So these are all listed in my Etsy shop, by the way, if you would like to pick these up for your decor. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give me a like and a subscribe, and all links to products I used are going to be down below in the description box. See you guys on the next one. Bye.